Today I'm traveling through Heping district in the mountains of Taiwan. Heping is a beautiful place that's an absolute joy to ride through. The climate here is cool in the summer and it even snows in the winter. Only 10,000 people live here and 4,000 of those belong to the unique Atayal indigenous group. I drove up to Heping from Lodong in Lishan County. The drive through the Lishan countryside was as spectacular as ever, with the beautiful weather and clear blue skies. The drive through to Heping would take 3 hours on a good day, driving non-stop. But due to the recent typhoon, there was a lot of ongoing roadworks, some of which had blocked off entire roads. So I'm here in a little town called Huanshan, South Mountain. Even though it's in the middle of Taiwan. I don't know why it's called South Mountain. But yeah, it just seems like a place where you come to stop for a little bit. So, looks like the road's out on the way I'm going, and as far as I can tell from talking to people, it's gonna be 3 hours. Not the worst place in the world to get stuck. Looks like the road is back open for business. Been waiting here for like, actually not that long, maybe an hour or so. Time to say goodbye to Huanshan. Bye bye Huanshan. See you next time. Right, these roads have not been easy driving. I gotta say, flies. Driving right after a typhoon, while objectively not a good idea, is really fun because you can see all the damage and stuff. And I just feel amazing driving down these roads. I mean, it's just so beautiful. As every turn, there's something else to see. So this is the area I'll be staying in for the next 3 nights. It's the Huanshan village. Very, very beautiful spot. Located just off the main road that runs through Heping. Mostly indigenous people live here, and yeah, really beautiful spot, beautiful culture. Mostly, most of the economy is growing peaches, I think. Tonight's place of residence, really nice. Really, really nice. Hello. I don't think I can overstate how like magical it felt driving into this place. Like, just beautiful, man. That's fake. Oh, scary, eh? Just found a little shop in the village. Now the place is covered in flies, so I hope I don't get sick. But I got like a little tongyoping with egg
little mini donuts, and he gifted me these for free. I don't know what they are. All of that was 120 NT. That's not one of the most beautiful 7-Eleven views in the world. I don't know what it is. I got some very exquisite cuisine. We have ooh la la, smoked sausage and tomato sauce spaghetti, and a authentic, genuine Mexican chicken burrito. Look, this place is beautiful and everything, but the fly situation here is fucking insane, right? The fly situation here is insane. There's just so many of these little guys. I don't know if they come up, but it's just ridiculous. The bloody 7-Eleven's full of them. The restaurant, well, snack shop I went to was full of them. It's everywhere you go. They're just trying to land on you. When I'm like riding my scooter, they hit me in the face. Another 7-Eleven with a pretty nice view. Right, so I've just stopped off in like a random patch of farmland because I've found these flies, man. Oh my gosh, these flies are insane. Anyway, I've stopped off in this random patch of farmland because I wanted to get some views. And boy howdy, do you get some views out here. Far out. I just wanted to talk about, because yesterday when I had to stop because the road was out for a couple hours, I just wanted to stress the fact that that is the road, the only road. There's only one road that comes through the middle of Taiwan here. If you want to find another way, you're going to go down to the coast, or you're going to go to the west side, right, where there's the Western Plains. I was talking to a guy just before, and he was talking about when we had the typhoon last week, right? There's a big typhoon came through last week, and he said that the whole area was closed off to outside, right? The roads down to Taichung City, the roads off to Ilan, the roads off to Hualien, and the roads off to, I think that's everywhere you can go. All of those roads were shut from the typhoon because, you know, falling rocks and trees onto the roads, and like I saw some parts of the road where it had fallen away completely. So yeah, people were just cut off, they're stuck here, which is kind of scary to think about. But I was just at the museum down there. I don't think this is true. Maoril traditional face tattoos are called tamoko. Only leaders and people with high status in their village could have face tattoos. I don't think that's true. And it was talking about how when they were building, God, look at that. When they were building the roads that came through here, a lot of people died during the process because these are very, very rugged mountains, right? So for a long time there were no roads, there were only walking trails. And well into the early 1900s, there just weren't roads up here. I think they were saying in the 1940s, they really started the projects in earnest to build roads through here. And so even up until the 1940s, the only way to access here was either walking, or they were saying there were like helicopter or plane routes that were established. So that was one way you could get up here. The other way was by just walking. Good luck. And it just reminded me that, like, historically, the colonial forces that had come here, right? So from the Qing dynasty, Chinese and the Japanese, that they had a very hard time sort of subduing the indigenous people that lived out here. Because the indigenous people had very strong warrior cultures, and they also lived up in these rugged mountains. And there are many accounts of like an organized military trying to come into these mountains and sort them out. And basically they would march through the mountains for days on end, and the indigenous tribes would harass them the whole way through, attacking them out of the bushes, out of anywhere, you know, places where, you know, these organized armies probably thought you couldn't even access. And then they would arrive at a village, and the whole village would be empty. There's nothing to conquer, nothing to take over, because everyone had left. And so there was a really, really hard time for these colonial powers to subdue these areas. Because, I mean, look at that. That'd be pretty tough. Pretty tough to come in and try and conquer and all that. So, when the Qing dynasty were here, they basically, they set up like a cordon where the western third of the island was Qing dynasty territory. And they basically said the other 2/3, that's not our problem. If something happens to you out there, your issue. You shouldn't have been there. Right? So it's really cool to come up here, because it's just like, for a country that has the population density that it does, I mean, I looked it up today to find some comparisons, right? So Taiwan is smaller than New York State. Taiwan is about the same size as the Netherlands or Switzerland, but has more people than both of them combined. And this is what about 2/3 of it looks like. Is that real or like some electronic thing? It's gotta be electric, right? Bro, you think you're tough until you get into the ring with the melon, man. Oh, I love it. Everything in Taiwan needs a cute little character to go with it. You can't just have like fruit. No, you need this. I'm at like a I'm at like a cheesy tourist farm. Lots of fruit. And this guy to tell me all about it. Amazing. Little spiky little guys. Disappointing though, because this is chestnut, right? Not as edible. It is inadequate for planting in alpine mountain area. The harvest is not rich. It is only for breeding preservation. Damn it. If only the harvest was rich. But I guess this is the alpine area. This area is pretty cute. This is a nice little touristy farm area. It's unfortunate though that the alpine area is inadequate for the growing of chestnuts, but it is adequate for the growing of peaches, apples, and pears. So, you know, you can't have it all, but you can have juicy, delicious peaches, and you can have fantastic mountain views, and more flies per capita than anywhere on the world, apparently. That's what it feels like. Lots of peaches. Sorry, I think those might be apples. And these are sand pears. Fruits are picked in the middle and late July. Fruit is round in shape. Weight about in 250 grams. Skin is crimson in color, and pulp is exquisite in texture, sweet, juicy. Both luster and flavor of the fruits are nice. Damn, the luster of the fruits is very nice. Are nice. Alright, next up we got the pear, okay? Alright, he's gonna tell us about pears. Fruit is picked in early November. Fruit is a regular calabash shape. Weight about in 200 to 250 grams. Skin is green in color, and pulp is exquisite and soft in texture. Juicy, sweet, and fragrant after ripening. The flavor of the fruit is very nice. Looks like it's Christmas time, mate. So I've been told a likely explanation for the sheer amount of bloody flies everywhere is probably because it's the season for fertilizing the crops and that. Which explains it, but it's not comforting. Like, that means all of these flies are poo flies. I mean, fertilizer is just poo, right? So these are poo flies. That snack shop was filled with poo flies. The 7-Eleven is filled with poo flies. That's not cool. Beautiful though. Look at that. I'll take some poo flies for that kind of that kind of view.